Welcome to another episode of the NewsRamp Nonprofit Podcast. I'm your host, Max Newsman, excited to bring you today's top stories. At newsramp.com, we gather the latest business news from the best sources, ensuring you stay updated and engaged. Before we begin, a quick reminder. This podcast features AI-assisted production and voices, but the news we present is genuine, with full stories available on newsramp.com. Today is Monday morning, July 29th, 2024, and we've curated a fantastic selection of nonprofit news just for you. So whether you're commuting, working out, or just relaxing, stay tuned and let's dive right in. Let's kick things off with our first headline.
Cayenne Wellness Center hosts 16th Annual Sickle Cell Disease Educational Summit, unpacking sickle cell, one warrior at a time. Cayenne Wellness Center is hosting its 16th Annual Sickle Cell Disease Educational Summit, focusing on sickle cell disease and trait awareness. The four-day hybrid event, held virtually and in Torrance, CA, aims to educate over 1,000 virtual attendees and 200 in-person attendees. The summit features FDA-approved therapies, advocacy, nurse training, and a tribute to long-term sickle cell survivors. Attendees can also enjoy a benefit concert and the Nod to Naz art exhibit, honoring the late artist and sickle cell warrior Hertz Nazaire. Register now to join this impactful event and support individuals living with sickle cell disease. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights is hosting an event in honor of Purple Heart Day. The Florida chapter of the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, CCHR, is hosting an event at the historic Fort Harrison in downtown Clearwater to honor Purple Heart Day on August 3rd. The event includes a reception at 5 p.m. and a banquet at 5:30 p.m., with a formal presentation by the MacDill Air Force Color Guard. Speakers will address the issue of military suicides and the excessive prescription of mind-altering drugs to veterans. CCHR filed a Freedom of Information Act request, revealing that the Veterans Health Administration spent over $2 billion on psychotropic drugs for veterans. To learn more or reserve a seat, call 727-442-8820.
Thank you for joining us today. That's it for this episode of the NewsRamp Nonprofit Podcast. As a reminder, NewsRamp curates news from leading newswires like Newsworthy.ai, 24/7pressrelease.com, newsdirect.com, and blockchainwire.io. We encourage you to visit newsramp.com to read all of today's news.